So what is going on, everyone? Fernando Silva here with another video, and as you can see, we got some awesome M1 iPad Pro desk accessories that I want to show off to everybody. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So yes, ignore this backdrop right here. I just use this to kind of take some thumbnails, you know, the matte black everything thumbnails and things like that. So that's why that's there. It's not for aesthetic reasons. We're going to focus on everything that's on the actual desk itself. And to start off, we got to start with the Flexispot Desk. So this is by a company called Flexispot, as I said before, and they specialize in these smart motorized desks, but at a fraction of the cost. So I know that there's a lot of companies out there, like even me, I have an autonomous standing desk, which is probably twice the price of this one, but this one does get you, I want to say like 85 to 90% of the way there, especially with their new line, and it even has some things that the autonomous one does not have, like being able to have USB-A and USB-C ports built in right into the actual desk itself. But the desk is awesome. It's really quiet, as you guys heard in the beginning. This is the 48 by 24 size desk itself, and this does have a very, very reflective and fingerprinty glass black top finish, but they have other options like white, they have wooden tops, they have, I believe, like other fabric type tops and things like that, but I just wanted to go with the all black everything to try it out. And overall, it's awesome. It holds about 120 to I think 150 pounds of weight. And again, I'm not really doing too much on here. It's mostly just an iPad Pro setup. But overall, this desk is awesome whenever I want to get just ideal work done. I use this desk to get all of my editing done on the iPad Pro, just because when I go to this desk, I'm not being distracted by anything else besides editing for the YouTube channel or anything that involves the YouTube channel. So this desk has been absolutely awesome. Really, really like it. It's super sturdy. Goes up pretty high. I think it goes even higher than the autonomous one. So overall, for the price, I believe they're $430 retail, and you can probably find them on sale for an extra $50 off. So this one will cost you less than 400 bucks. And for a motorized smart desk with programmable keys and things like that, it's hard to compete with some other ones like autonomous or like Fully and those other ones that are out in the market, which are awesome and very, very good themselves. But again, for the price, this is the best bang for your buck. And again, if you want to go even cheaper, there are kind of handheld manual standing desks you can get from IKEA for like 150 bucks, if that's what you're into, and it still works the same way. It's just a manual motion to get it into a standing desk, but those are just options to give you guys. So now let's talk about what's on the desk itself. So the first thing that I want to show off is this new desk mat that I have, and it's by Orbitkey. And this desk mat is freaking sick. I love this desk mat. They have it in two sizes. This is the regular size one, and then they have an XL version, which I'll show you guys on the autonomous desk that I have, and that one is huge. So I didn't make the mistake of getting the XL version first, thinking like, hey, most of the mats that I get are an XL anyway, and they're usually not that big. But this Orbitkey one, it is an XL mat, so be careful depending on which mat you go with. But this thing's awesome. So the top of it is made out of this faux leather material, which is very sturdy. You know, it comes rolled up, so you do have to kind of unfold it and unroll it because it is kind of stuck in that folding and rolling format because of the leather. And then what's cool about this is that it has like a flap where you can hide or put, you know, sticky notes or pieces of paper or anything that you kind of, that has really no width or anything. You kind of just hide it underneath here as a reminder maybe, or something that you need to get to eventually, but that's also nice to have so you don't have kind of papers all over the place, and it's still with the desk mat. And then on top of that, it has this row on the top, which you can use to put pens and pencils and things like that, and it is magnetic, so it's perfect for the Apple Pencil if you don't want to have it on your iPad Pro. It magnetically just kind of sits there, and you make sure that it's not going to go anywhere. And then also they have this little Orbitkey kind of cable organizer, which runs along the top of this thing, and it's awesome if you need, you know, a USB-C cable or a lightning cable at a quick glance, so you don't have to like fumble around for it and stuff like that. So honestly, the design of this desk mat, they went above and beyond. It's more than just an actual desk mat. It has all the features that I mentioned. So the bottom is actually made of felt, so it's really nice soft touch material. Then the actual mat itself is made out of, I believe, faux leather, but don't quote me on that. And then you have that magnetic row on top for your Apple Pencil or regular pencils or any other stuff that you just don't really want in front of you, but you need it quickly, so it'll be there. And then for this desk setup on the mat itself, I have the Magic Keyboard, not the case, just a regular Magic Keyboard from Apple, and then a Magic Trackpad as well to go with the iPad Pro, because I think that the trackpad, aside from touch first, is the best way to interact with the iPad Pro, because the trackpad does have all those gestures that are needed that, you know, just work really well on iPadOS 14 and iPadOS 15. And then to the left of the actual desk, I have another product by Orbitkey. They were nice enough to send this one over, and it's freaking sick, guys. And it's been around for a little while now, and I'm just glad that I was able to get my hands on it. And it's the Orbitkey Organizer, and this thing is awesome because it basically has like 3 or 4 functions, right? The main one is just an organizer itself. So it's a travel organizer or a desk organizer. So I use it at my desk mostly, but when I am on the go, that's what I bring with me because that's all I really need. And then on top of it, it's another organizer it has a little divot in there so you can put your keys or your wallet or any miscellaneous items that you just need a little bit of a divot to make sure they don't go anywhere. And then on the actual top cover portion, which you can also lay flat somewhere else, is a wireless Qi charger, up to 5 watts of wireless charging, which will help you out in any situation because it's always good to have an extra wireless charger laying around. And it does come with the cable needed in order to charge it. And then, like I said, inside of the Orbitkey Organizer, you get these little Velcro organizers to kind of mix and match and kind of see exactly what you want to fit, how big each slot is going to be, and things like that. So overall, from a customization and convenience standpoint, this Orbitkey Organizer is absolutely amazing. It's one of the best ones that I had, and yes, it's a little bit expensive compared to other no-name brand ones on Amazon that I've used before in the past, which work well, but this one just adds so much more customization, so much more functionality. It looks pristine, and honestly, it smells really good too. So I keep a lot of my smaller things in there, like I have my RAV Power SSD in there. I also carry this new iPhone lens that I have from Sandmark, so if you guys want to check out those lenses and see what this wide angle is like, it's freaking awesome. And then I also have a couple cables, a microfiber cloth, pretty much everything that I would need in a pinch in order to A, get work done, but then also maybe charge my things overnight as well. So overall, loving that Orbitkey Organizer. And also on top of that, I have the Orbitkey key holder, but I'm going to talk about that in EDC carry another day. But now we continue behind that Orbitkey Organizer. I have a HomePod Mini, which is my speaker of choice. Usually when I'm editing, I do have my AirPods Pro in, so I don't really use the AirPod speaker, but with the HomePod Mini, it's usually when I'm listening to music out loud or podcasts or something that doesn't involve editing. Because when I do edit, I like to have my headphones plugged in at all times just to make sure I'm getting the best sound possible. Even though it is Bluetooth and the latency isn't 1,000,000% perfect, there's really no latency at all. And then a lot of people actually ask me what this arm thing is, and it's just kind of like a vice grip arm that I have for a smartphone to get a top-down shot sometimes. Nothing crazy. It's by a company called Lamicall. It's super cheap, and literally all it is a vice grip down on the desk itself, and then this little holder right here. The only thing that's kind of annoying is that it does wobble if the desk wobbles, so you have to be like very, very, very still if you're using this as a top-down camera. But overall, it gets the job done. When I need it, it's right there ready to go. And then we're gonna leave the iPad Pro and the stand for the very end, but on the right-hand side, I have this new wireless charger by a company called Hard Cider Labs. It's freaking awesome. It's a 6-in-1 wireless charger. You can put things anywhere on the mat and it'll charge no matter what. So you can charge 2 phones, AirPods. It does have an Apple Watch connector as well, which is amazing to have. And then on the back, you have a USB-A and then a USB-C out that can be used to charge whatever you want, right? So the one downside about this is that since it needs to power so many things at once, it needs to have its own proprietary charger or at least wall adapter. So it does have a little tunnel plug-in, whatever you guys want to call it. I forget what the barrel charger. So it does have one of those. It doesn't charge or plug in via USB-C, but it does have its own USB-C out. And honestly, from a charging standpoint, I've had 0 failures overnight, 0 failures on AirPods, 0 failures on iPhones being charged. So this is awesome by Hard Cider Labs, and I can't believe it took me so long to actually get my hands on one of those. And then lastly, let's talk about the iPad and what it's sitting on. So the iPad Pro, the one I have is the base model 12.9-inch M1 iPad Pro with that mini LED Pro Retina XDR display, whatever you want to call it. And it's sitting on the new Satechi hub, which I do have a video on if you guys want to check it out, a full in-depth video. But basically, it's a 6-in-1 USB-C hub that works with the M1 iPad Pro and even the iPad Air 4, iPad Pro 3rd gen and 4th gen. As long as you have a USB-C connector, it'll work perfectly. And even with the M1 iPad Pro being a Thunderbolt, it'll still work totally fine. So don't worry about that if that's one of your worries. But again, it's a 6-in-1, it's got a micro SD, SD card, HDMI, USB-C for charging, not for data transfer, but then they do have a USB-A for data transfer, and then finally a headphone jack. My one thing is that I do wish they had the headphone jack at the front of the actual device, so it'd be easier to plug in and out. But otherwise, the device is awesome because it also acts as a built-in stand and has a built-in power cord kind of hidden away that can be plugged into, yes, your iPad Pro, but it works with pretty much anything that has a USB-C port. So it's not strictly for the iPad Pro, but obviously with the built-in stand, that's what they want to use it for. But if you're in a pickle and you have a MacBook Pro or a Windows computer or something and you need to have a dongle or USB-C hub, it'll still work for you. So that's what the iPad Pro is sitting on, and this Satechi stand is awesome. Another thing that I do wish they added was a couple more viewing angles, because this is the lone viewing angle that you have. But overall, it gets the job done, and for the angle that it's at, it's perfect for when I'm sitting down and things like that. But that's this new desk setup. I absolutely love it. I consider this like my productivity desk setup, because again, I come here, sit down at this desk and get purely work done. Nothing really from a leisure perspective unless I'm listening to a podcast, but even then, I'm getting some work done. But that's gonna do for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys learned something or got something that you guys want to add to your own desk setup. If I were to pick one single item out of all these to put your money towards, I would say maybe the Orbitkey Organizer, because it's the best bang for your buck and it does the most, I think. But this Orbitkey desk mat, the hard cider lab charger, these accessories are all awesome, and I'm gonna have them linked down below. But let me know what you guys thought about this desk setup. Or is there anything that you guys are eyeing that you do want to add to your own desk setup? Or I definitely want to create a series of maybe taking in your iPad Pro desk setups. I know a lot of people are doing them for regular desk setups, but I would like to have maybe a monthly series where I get a bunch of pictures from you guys, and then you guys could submit it to me, maybe your top 3 accessories at your desk setup, and then I'd create a video once a month kind of talking about the best setups, maybe hating on some of the bad ones and things like that, making a good time. Maybe I'll even do like a little live chat kind of thing going. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But that's gonna do it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below some video ideas and what you guys want to see next, because we have a bunch of stuff coming. Like the new bridge keyboard is still coming in. iPad OS continues to get updates, and the videos are just gonna continue to follow along, guys. But until next time.